Hi, Richard. How are you?
Ah, there you are. Now I got you.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure, always an honor, Richard, to be with you. Richard, my question is basically on three aspects of the list that was given to us. Uh, Addiction and bad habits are very much closely linked, and that
Well,
sometimes also.
addiction is the ultimate bad habit.
Yes, true.
So
That's
yes,
true. That's
they're
true.
linked,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you can
yeah,
have a bad habit, of picking your nose but as opposed to shooting heroin, on a scale of 1 to 10, one is a
yeah.
1 and the other is a 10.
That's true. Now, but the ultimate bad habit I want to actually, in fact, addiction I want to talk about is visual addiction. That really is hurting the society nowadays. We do a
I'm
lot of
sorry,
work with
what kind
those
of addiction?
visual addiction, which includes
I mean, like pornography?
pornography, screen gaming, all these sorts of things that lead to brainless activity given on the screen. So that is my one question: how we can help better our clients with that. And the second one is about OCD. How can we work with the OCD clients
Well,
using
those are
NLP?
two entirely different questions.
I was told to ask two questions.
Yeah, but you were told to ask me one question. So let's start with the
Okay,
first one.
let's start with the addiction then. Let's keep it to the addiction.
Okay. The thing about addiction, no matter what kind it is, but especially a visual addiction, is about the time that it wastes. And until people can wrap their head around how much time they're wasting, you can't really make any headway, because this is where, this is the ultimate case of making the same bad decision over and over again. If it's a physical addiction, they have an excuse, right? Nowadays with all of the addiction treatment telling you that it's a disease rather than stupidity, that, I'm sorry, there's a real difference between having COVID, because it's not like you go out and suck COVID people's mouths every day, so that you can keep your COVID rush going. That's a disease. Diseases are treated with things like antibiotics, and addictions, you have to get people to recognize the supreme stupidity of what they're doing, and they have to measure it in time. I mean, if you think of how much trouble it is, to go through all the money they go through, they have to get the money. Some of these people, like, when they tried to legalize in Zurich drug sales and drug addiction in a park in the center of town, then what happened is for blocks and blocks and blocks around the park, the crime wave went through the ceiling, because the junkies didn't have enough money. So they'd go out and they'd rob somebody or a house or steal a TV or break in and steal jewelry and pawn it all and then go down and buy their drugs. And if you think of the amount of effort it takes to steal enough to support $100 or $200 a day habit, crack at least was cheaper, but it's just as dumb, because you have to go through all the trouble to get it. You have to get the trouble to take it. You have to have a place to sit around and be high. And, the cost benefit of your life is just so stupid that when you have to get people to recognize the stupidity of what they're doing. And I don't mean recognize where they look at you and go, yeah, I know this is a bad thing that I'm doing. It's where they start laughing at it and going, you have to get it raised up through the threshold till the point where their brain goes, I've had enough. Now, most drug addiction things tell you that you have to hit rock bottom to get to that point. And that's not really true. If you understand what it takes to spin a feeling, once you start thinking that something is stupid, you can spin that feeling till the point where it breaks threshold and people start going, enough is enough. I'm going to do whatever it takes to stop this. Then what you have to do is you have to reverse engineer, because what happens is people get an endorphin rush from whatever it is, cigarettes, pornography, whatever it is. They look at the pornography and they get an endorphin rush. But you have to get them to make a big, giant picture where they look at the object they're addicted to and go, I'm not interested. and ask them, would you like to be this person? Because you are going to get back thousands and tens of thousands of hours. Somebody staring at porn for 3 hours a day, just to add it up. I mean, literally add up, you know, if you're surfing porn for 3 hours a day, you know, that's 1,000 hours a year. And, you know, in 10 years, that's 10,000 hours. In 40 years, it's 40,000 hours. It's just an enormous amount of time. And somebody who does it 8, 10 hours a day, it's even more ridiculous. I had somebody that woke up and watched porn all day long, right? I mean, they were doing 10, 12, 15 hours only because they were rich enough to afford not going to work. And of course, they were burning up their time, burning up their money. And, you know, and when you start looking at, you know, and you go, look, is it smart? This is always the thing you have to go, is it smart in the next 10 years to spend thousands of hours, thousands of dollars, right, doing nothing, right? And when people go, I know it's stupid, and you go, no, you don't. And then you take that feeling and you spin it all the way up to the point, and then you build them a shiny new picture where they can see themselves behaving entirely differently. And you go, do you want to be that guy? And you spin it. They say, yes, you spin the feeling up so that the desire becomes stronger than the desire for drugs. Then you set up an endorphin rush so that every time they say no, they discover they're doing the right thing. Every time they're sitting there and their brain goes, I should turn on my computer and look at porn. I should light a cigarette, whatever it is. As soon as the brain says that, and you say to yourself, no, and look at the picture of who you want to be, you need to get an endorphin rush, because that just interrupts the process. If you can get an endorphin rush from making the right choice, everybody who quits smoking, I tell them, I go, look, stay away from the nicotine patches, stay away from all that shit, right? You want to feel the withdrawal, because every time you feel it, it's telling you you're doing exactly the right thing. Every time your brain goes, I need to turn on the computer and look at naked people fucking, right? Your brain should go, no, I want to be this guy. And it should get a better endorphin rush than it gets from looking at porn. Plus, it happens a lot quicker, so you get back thousands and thousands of hours of your own life. That's the formula that I use, and I've used it for years. I've gotten people off of heroin, cigarettes, porn, everything you can fucking imagine under the sun. You know, the hardest one of all are the people that are addicted to admiration. We have a few of those in our field.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much for this one.